Welcome to the 2021 Canadian Academy of Nursing Induction Ceremony. To start, I am pleased to welcome Elder Aline Laflamme, who will open our event with a prayer.
Good morning, dear ones. Good morning, my dear relatives. And I guess for some of you, it's good afternoon. I'm always honored and touched to be part of any event that involves nurses because I hold you in such high regard. And to come to a place where you are being honored in this way, inducted into the academy, it's a very great event, and I'm happy to be here. We have a teaching that says the honor of one is the honor of all. So as you're being honored, we get to share in the joy of that. So thank you. I'm going to offer a prayer because that's the way we start what we do. I have to pray in my own way. Obviously, I can't pray any other way. But if you have your own prayer, you follow along your own way. And if prayer is not for you, don't worry. Just hold a good intention. Okay. Masi notsi, kumokota masi, masi dasi, masi dani, masi danade. Grandmothers and grandfathers, great spirit, great mystery of life and good creator of all things in this universe where we are. We thank you that we woke up this day. We have one more day to walk on this Mother Earth. Help us to make it a good walk. Help us to make it a good day. Help us to lift ourselves up the best we can and reach out and lift up each and every one around us. And this is the honor and the beauty and the gift of nurses. And we give thanks for each one, especially those that are struggling right now in hospitals and care facilities where they're dealing with COVID and so many things. Bless each one of them for the ways they lift up others. We thank you, good creator, for this air that we breathe, this air, this breath, this beautiful gift of life. What a blessing. We give thanks for the water all around us, all the oceans and lakes and rivers and swamps and streams and creeks. And we give thanks as well for the water that comes from our eyes, our tears. We give thanks for all the water that sustains life, that washes and cleanses and purifies. We give thanks as well for the grandfather's son that came again this morning and is giving us the gift of light. Help us to use the gift of light to look around and see the beauty and goodness around us, to lift us into gratitude for all the relatives that we share this gift of life with. Help us to use our eyes in a good way, to use the gift of sight, so that wherever we place our eyes, we recognize we're looking at one of our relatives, our own dear relatives. And help us to remember that it is our responsibility to treat all of our relatives in a good way. So we pray for our relatives right now, each and every one of them, all the four-legged kind, our relatives, the winged ones, the ones that live in the water, the ones that crawl in and on the earth, and all the rooted ones, our relatives. All of the mineral nations as well, they're our relatives, our ancient ones. And we pray as well for all the two-legged kind, the foolish children of the Mother Earth. We know we're relatives because we all share the same mother, and we give thanks today for this Mother Earth, for feeding us, for sheltering and clothing us, for giving us such abundance and ease in our lives. We give thanks to this mother and help us to remember to not overburden her by demanding too much of her, to walk kindly and softly and gently on this Mother Earth and honor her. We ask a good blessing for each heartbeat here in this circle today. And we're so happy this circle goes all around the Mother Earth. And we give thanks for this blessing of technology. We ask a special blessing on each one that's going to be inducted here into the academy. We thank them for all of their hard work, all of the good things that they've done that have brought them to this place. We hold our hands up to them with special blessings. And bless this whole CNA, bless all our healthcare workers all across the Mother Earth. I give thanks here. I'm in the territory of the Tsleil-Waututh Nation, the Musqueam Nation, and the Squamish Nation on their unceded traditional territory. And I give thanks to be able to live my life and conduct my ceremonies here. And we give thanks for all of the territories, traditional territories where each and every one of us stands. Masi Cho, thank you for the honor of this ceremony today. Masi, all my relations. Thank you, dear ones, and I look forward to this beautiful occasion. Masi Cho.
Thank you, Aline, for the beautiful blessing. We're so grateful to have you with us. You have been a great support to both the CNA board and a friend to nurses over these years, and we very much appreciate you. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. My name is Tim Guest. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm proud to be the president of the Canadian Nurses Association. I'm delighted to be your host for today's very special event. I first want to begin by acknowledging that this event is taking place across Turtle Island, a sacred land that has been and continues to be home to many Indigenous people. We are thankful that we are able to live together in peace in such a beautiful place. CNA and many of us as individuals that have settler backgrounds are on a journey of awareness, learning the harsh and devastating truths and lived experiences of Indigenous peoples past and present. We at CNA have doubled down our efforts to confront these truths, nursing's role, and the systemic racism that continues to be embedded in nursing and healthcare. Our first step is by learning how to effectively take anti-racist stances. Acting with other leading nursing organizations, this year we have released nursing declarations that spell out our shared commitments to act to combat racism that surrounds the lives of Indigenous peoples, Black people, and people of color. And we expect our fellows to join us in this important work. I'm happy to welcome everyone who is here with us today virtually from across Canada and beyond. Due to public health concerns, we are still unable to meet in person. And today marks our second induction of new fellows in this digital format. And wouldn't it be nice to see one another in person and share all the great energy that comes with this event? At the same time, I'm grateful for the many ways that we as a profession and as individuals have learned to adapt and continue to meet in the age of COVID-19. Today, we are gathering to recognize outstanding leadership in the nursing profession. This includes presenting the CNA's 2021 Certification Employer Recognition Award. We also have the unique opportunity to induct the Canadian Academy of Nursing's second class of fellows and our first two honorary fellows of the Academy who are appointed by the CNA Board of Directors. This is another exciting landmark for Canadian nursing. Each and every one of you has displayed great dedication and commitment to advancing the nursing profession in Canada and globally. And we are so very proud of all of you. I would like to now turn it over to CNA's President-elect, Sylvain Brossard, to provide opening remarks en français.
Merci, Tim. Bonjour à tous. Je suis Sylvain Brousseau, infirmier ainsi que le président désigné de l'Association des infirmières et infirmiers du Canada. Il me fait extrêmement plaisir de vous accueillir pour cet événement virtuel. Dans un premier temps, je m'adresse à vous à partir de la ville de Blainville et suis extrêmement honoré ainsi que privilégié de résider sur le territoire non cédé des terres de la nation autochtone Kanien'kehá:ka, où se rassemblaient traditionnellement le peuple Anishinaabe et les nations autochtones confédérées Haudenosaunee. Je trouve dommage que nous ne puissions pas nous rencontrer en personne. Cependant, nous sommes réunis pour reconnaître le leadership exceptionnel de la profession infirmière. Nous allons présenter les prix de reconnaissance des employeurs du programme de certification pour l'année 2021. Nous avons également l'occasion unique aujourd'hui d'introniser la première promotion 2021 des Fellows de l'Académie canadienne des sciences infirmières et nous présenterons également les 2 premiers Fellows honoraires nommés par le Conseil d'administration de l'AIC. Aujourd'hui est un jour exceptionnel pour les soins infirmiers au Canada. Chacun de vous a fait preuve d'un leadership et d'un engagement hors pair à faire progresser la profession infirmière au Canada et dans le monde. Maintenant, je cède la parole à M. Michael Villeneuve, directeur général de l'AIC.
Merci beaucoup, Sylvain, and let me offer a warm welcome to all of you here with us today. Thank you with a lot of love, Elder Aline Laflamme, who has been I should say, very patient, special friend, teacher, and guide in our journey of truth and reckoning with our history. We've got a long road ahead of us, and we appreciate your guidance and your honest conversations, Aline. I'm speaking to you all today from Eastern Ontario, where the headquarters of CNA is also located, on the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Nation and Anishinaabe people. And to borrow a phrase from Aline, I have the privilege of leading a sort of ridiculously privileged life. I live an hour south of CNA in farm country on an acre. And as I've been sharing, one of my learnings of the last couple of years is that I used to say I own an acre in the country, and now I think I guard the acre in the country and do my best that it be preserved for people who will walk here after me. Thank you to the founding members of the Canadian Academy of Nursing and to the more than 700 members who have joined the Academy in less than 2 years. I'm happy to welcome special guests who are with us today, our incoming fellows and your families and friends, of course, our board of directors, former CNA presidents, chief executive officers, and executive directors, pardon me, presidents and CEOs of fellow provincial and territorial associations, leaders from our network of nursing specialties, and leaders from many of our partner organizations across and beyond nursing. And I'm also pleased to welcome guests representing Pfizer, who have generously sponsored this special event. I'm also pleased to introduce 2 of my teammates, Aiden Hamza, who is the lead for policy at CNA, and Marie Marquez, who is the program lead for our credentialing center, and both of whom will be presenting fellows and award recipients. We will start shortly by welcoming each new fellow into the Academy in groups of 9 or 10, and we'll go through the list alphabetically. As we were saying at the beginning, some of you will have heard our conversation. The way of the world now is that inevitably a microphone fails, or as we said, a child runs behind somebody, or a puppy jumps on your head, or a cat or something. And we ask for your patience as we again navigate the online experience in what we hoped would have been a very special in-person ceremony in Ottawa. We hope in the future. After the induction of each group of fellows and the CNA awards, we will invite you to raise a big cheer for these leaders. Each incoming fellow should have received a printed copy of the program, accompanied by your certificate of induction as a fellow. And I hope you don't mind, Siobhan, that we used yours as the example since you're speaking today. And you can see the example of the beautiful certificate on the screen. As I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, today's ceremony is sponsored proudly by Pfizer. This is the first time we have had an induction ceremony sponsored, and we're grateful to Pfizer for their generosity and commitment to nursing and healthcare and to sustaining CNA and the Canadian Academy of Nursing. I don't have to tell you that we have a lot more to be grateful to Pfizer for this year. Pardon me. Their scientific discovery of the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine has helped to save literally millions, tens of millions of lives and alleviate the pressures of this deadly virus on health systems globally. We thank the entire Pfizer Corporation for this miraculous work. Pfizer has provided a short video, which will play now in English and then in French. They're about a minute long each. Over to you, Elizabeth. Thank you. And once again, I want to express our sincerest gratitude to Pfizer. And I would ask our guests who are with us from Pfizer to please take our sincere thanks back to your entire team. Colleagues, I'll share with you that Aline was saying she wished she could see our faces while we're speaking. And I just want to remind everyone the reason that we're doing it this way is because bandwidth can become quite precarious, as you all know, when you have a lot of people online. So we're going to have you focus on the pictures of our fellows and award winners. So Tim, with all that said, I turn things back to you and invite you to welcome the Charter Fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing.
Thanks, Mike. CNA launched the Academy in the fall of 2019 with the goal of creating Canada's first comprehensive hub of leadership development for all regulated nurses. It is designed to educate, empower, and support nurses to lead, advocate, innovate, and influence public policy that leads to sustainable change. I am so pleased that, as Mike just said, more than 700 nurses have joined as members. And we were delighted to welcome the inaugural class of 58 fellows last fall, including the 12 charter fellows. They've worked so hard for us, serving as the nominations committee and overseeing a rigorous process that ensures fellows of the Academy have delivered an enduring impact on nursing and healthcare. I'd like to thank my friend, Dr. Claire Betker, Dr. Chantal Cara, Dr. Greta Cummings, Dr. Laurie Gottlieb, Dr. Jacqueline Keith, Dr. Ruth Martin Meisner. And thank you so much, Ruth, for agreeing to serve as the new editor-in-chief of the Canadian Journal of Nursing Leadership. As the new owners of the journal, we are excited to see the directions that you will take us in the years ahead. Continuing on the list with Diane Martin, Dr. Lynn Nagel. And Lynn, as we welcome Ruth, let me thank you on behalf of Longwoods Publishing, the Academy of Canadian Executive Nurses, and the CNA board, staff, and members for your decade of tremendous leadership and courage in your role as editor-in-chief of the Canadian Journal of Nursing Leadership. What a legacy of intelligence and hard work you leave with us. Thank you, Lynn, so much from all of us. Dr. Siobhan Nelson, Dr. Earl Naugizik, Dr. Sally Thorne, and thank you, Sally, for all the additional work and support that you have offered Mike and the team by serving as the chair of the Charter Fellows and Nominations Committee. And last, by no means least, Dr. Colleen Varco. Thank you all for your generous support of the Academy as we start to build this important institution. I would now like to invite Dr. Siobhan Nelson to bring greetings as president of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences. Dr. Nelson is a professor and the former dean of the Lawrence S. Bloomberg Faculty of Nursing at the University of Toronto and has just completed her term as the university's vice provost. Siobhan, we're so delighted to have you with us. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Tim. I wish to begin by acknowledging with gratitude and humility that I work, live, and play on land that for thousands of years has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit Valley, of the Credit River. And today, this meeting place is still home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. And I pay homage to elders past, present, and future. Dear fellows, colleagues, and distinguished guests, as a proud fellow of the Canadian Academy of Nursing, I'm delighted to bring greetings today on behalf of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences, which I have the honour to serve as president. 2 years ago, the Canadian Academy of Nursing was created, and now it seems like a lifetime ago. The pandemic has placed nursing at the centre of public attention over the past 2 years. Never has the country had such a focus on our healthcare system and the crucial role played by its professionals, especially its nurses. We have seen that over the past 2 years, the skill and commitment nurses have shown their patients and their profession, and how this has inspired the whole country. We've also seen significant strains on the system Throughout Canada, nursing positions have been unfilled at the same time as some of our colleagues, exhausted, are leaving the profession. These are the important challenges that we're facing. Our healthcare system is under enormous strain, and we need to all work together to address these issues. Your election as Fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing is an important recognition of your individual achievements. You are well placed to serve and to contribute even more to the advancement of our profession and to the health and well-being of all Canada. On behalf of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences, I wish to congratulate all of you for these achievements, and I look forward to seeing your contribution to the Academy and the great leadership in nursing and healthcare in your future careers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Siobhan, for those thoughtful comments, and thank you particularly for noting the hard work of nurses across the country. We certainly at CNA are acutely aware of some of what seems to be happening at points of care, and it's quite troubling. It's great having you with us in the Academy, of course, Siobhan, and we're very proud to have you at the helm of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences. And I would ask you to please give my regards to Dr. Johnson and the entire team at Bloomberg Nursing. Excuse me. Today we will be inducting 38 nurses into the second class of fellows, and I have the honor of introducing the first 9. Harrison Aplin. Dr. Harrison Aplin is a Galubi Mi'kmaq First Nation scholar who has 30 years experience in the healthcare sector as an academic, research, and clinician. Harrison is passionate about rural health innovations in Indigenous and non-Indigenous communities to promote health equity and excellence in nursing care. His work promotes and models a collaborative approach in leading inaugural academic innovations, including the Bachelor of Paramedicine degree, Rural Health Professionals degree proposal, and the Practical Nurse Refresher program at Medicine Hat College. He partnered with Big Stone Cree Nation and the Municipality of Opportunity Number 17 to establish a health lab in the community that enabled members to study, graduate, and practice in their communities. As Director for Nursing Professional Practice, he supported 37,000 nurses in practice excellence throughout Alberta. Harrison, welcome to the Academy. Mona Lisa Bourque-Bearskin. Dr. Bourque-Bearskin is a member of the Beaver Lake Cree Nation, known for her leadership in advancing Indigenous knowledge in nursing. Mona Lisa is a tenured associate professor at Thompson Rivers University and is an inaugural Canadian Institutes for Health Research chair in Indigenous Health Research for Nursing in British Columbia. Her research contributes to supporting community knowledge as a generative process for advancing Indigenous health. Lisa is recognized for her relational, rights, and strength-based research approach and is a leader in reconciling parallel pathways of traditional Indigenous knowledge, Indigenous healthcare, in the context of community wellness. She is a former president of the Canadian Indigenous Nurses Association and is a proud Nahia Esqueo. I hope I pronounced that well, Lisa, properly. That means Cree woman, a survivor of the residential school in 60s Scoop era, who rebuilt and maintains a solid connection to her community and culture. And I'm thrilled to share with you that Lisa's having a particularly good week because she was inducted into the American Academy of Nursing just this past weekend. They beat us by a week, Lisa. Congratulations for that induction. And Lisa, welcome to the Canadian Academy. Karen Breen Reed. Over the past 42 years, Karen Breen Reed has held positions of staff nurse, educator, researcher, and senior manager in the area of pediatric nursing. Karen has published widely and developed policy related to interprofessional practice, education, and care of children with complex medical needs. She has provided interactive education for nursing and other health care professionals in Canada and globally, including her co-development of the first certification course for pediatric nurse specialists in Ghana. She was instrumental in advancing Canadian pediatric nursing expertise through active leadership in the development of the first Canadian pediatric nursing standards and the CNA certification examination for pediatric nurses. Karen's passion includes mentoring nurses to become experts in their profession, and she's proud to have supported many students, new and experienced nurses to achieve their professional goals. Karen, welcome to the Academy. Lorna Butler. Dr. Lorna Butler is a professor and dean of the University of New Brunswick Faculty of Nursing and a previous dean of the College of Nursing at the University of Saskatchewan. Her early research career focused on cancer care with a goal for capacity building within the health sciences at Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia. She is a Maurice Legault Fellow of the Canadian Cancer Society. Lorna continued to build capacity for nurse scholars by investing in Canada's contribution to nursing education within the circumpolar world and was the inaugural leader of the Northern Nursing Research Network with the University of the Arctic. Over 4 decades, Lorna's career has been characterized by the creation of strategic partnerships and disruptive transformations, particularly in the use of technology solutions to support the delivery of care and educational programs. Lorna, welcome to the Academy. Marcia Carr. Marcia Carr has been a proud registered nurse for the past 53 years and a clinical nurse specialist in geriatric medicine, geriatric psychiatry, and adult continence care for 28 of those years. Marcia's practice has spanned nursing care from womb to end of life across education, acute care, population health, home and community health services, outpatient clinics, and research settings. She serves as an adjunct faculty at the Schools of Nursing at University of British Columbia, University of Victoria, and Fujian Medical University in China, as well as at the Simon Fraser University Gerontology Research Center. Marcia has been actively involved in nursing regulation and professional organizations from local to international levels in support of all nurses wherever they may practice, and to put equitable, accessible, respectful, and dignified nursing care at the forefront of health and wellness provisions for all Canadians. Marcia, welcome to the Academy. Sandra Davidson. Nursing leader and educator, Dr. Sandra Davidson has co-created numerous innovation-grounded educational programs that optimize the use of technology and pioneering andragogy's increasing learner engagement and educational outcomes. Her scholarship and leadership are based in the community, professional organizations, academic, and practice settings. Across these settings, she collaborates with individuals within systems to co-create innovative models of learning and health systems leadership. Widely published, Sandra has educated and mentored hundreds of nurse leaders that range from novice to expert levels, building on the new leadership paradigm guiding clinical practice inside complex adaptive health networks. A highly regarded thought leader and futurist, Sandra has presented new learning, leading, and practice technologies at forums with academic and practice leaders from around the world. And we're very proud that Sandra is the current holder of the CNA Award of Merit for Nursing Education. Sandra, welcome to the Academy. Gail Donner. Dr. Gail Donner is Professor Emerita and former Dean in the Lawrence S. Bloomberg Faculty of Nursing, University of Toronto, and a longstanding partner in Donner Wheeler Career Consultants. Among her executive roles, Gail was Executive Director of the Registered Nurses Association of Ontario. Pardon me. She has led or participated in numerous health systems reviews and reports and served as external advisor on home and community care to the former Ontario Minister of Health and Long-Term Care. She's the recipient of many awards, including the CNA Jean Mons Award, the Order of Ontario, and she holds an honorary Doctor of Science from Ryerson University. An active volunteer, Gail helped establish the Registered Nurses Foundation of Ontario's Nurse Innovator Award. And with support from the Canadian Nurses Foundation and CNA, Gail and Mary Wheeler recently launched Nurses Voices, an audiovisual platform that gives nurses the opportunity to tell their stories. Gail, my dear friend, welcome to the Academy. Susan Duncan. Dr. Susan Duncan is professor and past director of the School of Nursing at the University of Victoria. Susan advocates for the nursing profession as an essential global political force to uphold the values and goals of primary health care. She draws on critical and historical scholarship to inform leadership and policy in nursing practice, education, and health organizations. Susan has served on the governance boards of nursing and health organizations, including CNA and the Canadian Association of Schools of Nursing. And she has widely disseminated her work on critical nursing education issues, public health nursing, nursing regulation, and the future of nursing, of the nursing profession through presentations and publications. In the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, Susan has worked collaboratively across sectors to ensure the sustainability of nursing education as an essential resource. Susan, welcome to the Academy. Josephine Atoa. Dr. Josephine Atoa is a professor at the University of Ottawa, the Ontario HIV Treatment Network Chair in Black Women's HIV Prevention and Care, past holder of the Loyer de Silva Research Chair in Public Health Nursing, past co-chair of the Community Health Nurses National Standards Working Group, and past president of the Health Association of African Canadians. Josephine is a transformational leader in anti-racist and health equity work. Her research has resulted in seminal contributions to Canadian health policy, bringing racism to the forefront of dialogues. Her anti-racist healthcare practice book is the first of its kind in Canada, and she co-edited the latest edition of Community Health Nursing, A Canadian Perspective, which is a strengthened and indigenized edition that analyzes health inequities through a social justice and critical social theory lens. Her internationally funded research program is anchored by intersectionality lens and community-based participatory research. Josephine, welcome to the Academy. Colleagues, please join me in giving our newest fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing a huge round of applause. We wish that we could all be with you to do that in person. Congratulations. Tim, I turn things over to you.
Colleagues, I now have the very special privilege of introducing our first honorary fellow of the Academy. Madeline Kataiskio Dion Stout was born on the Kahiwan First Nation in Alberta. As a child, she had her first encounter with a nurse, whom she now credits for motivating her to study nursing at the Edmonton General Hospital. She joined the rare ranks of Indigenous women who had graduated from a university nursing program after almost 2 decades of providing nursing care to Indigenous peoples in hospital and community settings. She became a special advisor to the Minister of Health and Welfare Canada and was eventually appointed to lead the Indian and Inuit Health Careers Program. Kataiskio went on to receive a Master of Arts degree from the Norman Paterson School of International Affairs at Carleton University, where she taught in the School of Canadian Studies and served as the director of the Centre for Aboriginal Education, Research, and Culture. In these and other roles she took on over the years, she helped to shift health matters to Indigenous communities' control. For decades, Madeline has worked with Indigenous peoples, nursing colleagues, and Canadian society at large as a nurse, researcher, educator, lecturer, reformer, and policy leader. Lifelong winning traits include her retention of the Cree language, relevance to her community, reverence for her Indigenous culture, and respect for all kinship ties. She is a recipient of several awards from the Indigenous and nursing communities. And notably, she was named one of Canada's top 100 nurses during the celebration of the Canadian Nurses Association's centennial anniversary in 2008. She is a distinguished alumnus of the University of Lethbridge and holds honorary doctoral degrees conferred by the University of British Columbia, University of Ottawa, and Carleton University. In recognition of her national influence, she was appointed to the Order of Canada in 2015. Madeline's biggest prize, though, is her devoted and dedicated family. Before we hear from Madeline, we have a short video from the Assembly of First Nations.
Wachemaswe, Roseanne Archibald, Nadishnagasan, Dago Dagamasagat Delko Achian. Hi everyone, it's National Chief Roseanne Archibald here, and I'm really happy to be bringing you this video message today. First, I would like to acknowledge the Creator, the world around us, and our place within it. I'm coming to you from the traditional territories of the Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, and Squamish nations, and I acknowledge all of you on your traditional territories where you are today. I'd like to lift up the great work of the Canadian Nurses Association. All frontline workers across Turtle Island have shown immense strength and dignity as we continue in this global pandemic. It's my honor to give these opening remarks to the Canadian Academy of Nursing Induction Ceremony of Dr. Madeleine Kettisclale Dion Stout, a nurse, researcher, educator, lecturer, reformer, and policy leader of Kehewan First Nation in Alberta. Dr. Stout has integrated her knowledge as a Cree woman into her practice, leading conversations on reconciliation and how healthcare providers can incorporate reconciliation in their healthcare practices. Indigenous and Cree nurses like Dr. Stout are pushing the narrative of what it means to walk in both worlds, creating positive change and understanding between their identity and their practice. It's my hope that representation in the healthcare field will expand and grow, and teachings that involve Indigenous health will always be included in conversations, that the groundwork that Dr. Stout has laid out will be the foundation of Indigenous knowledge and reconciliation for the next generation to build upon. Dr. Stout has made tremendous strides as a Cree woman and as a nurse. She has made an impact across the nation, influencing our young Indigenous women and girls. Congratulations on one of your many influential achievements. Your induction into the Canadian Academy of Nurses is well deserved, Dr. Stout. You have done amazing work thus far, and we are all very proud of you. Ninanaskamun Gisakitin. Ninanaskamun in my language means I am grateful, I am thankful, I thank you, and Gisakitin means I love you.
Thank you so much, Chief Roseanne Archibald, and everyone at the Assembly of First Nations for providing us with that video. I would now love to pass things off to our first honorary fellow. Madeleine, from all of us, congratulations and welcome to the Academy.
Danke. I am sincerely thankful to be with you today. I humbly submit my thoughts and words from the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, Dene, and the homeland of the Métis. I hold my hands up to the CNA, the Charter Fellows, the inaugural class of 58 fellows from 2020, and the new class of 38 of 2021. And my esteemed fellow honoree, Sheila Tlu, I hold my hands up to you. I am deeply humbled by Chief Roseanne Archibald's introduction of the little girl who did, the little girl who could and did become a nurse. Aline La Flamme, da poemsta himi nagista, hina naskumten, e pewitewi auta, e pepik scosia, besito scoia. My sincere gratitude, Aline Laflamme, for being with us today, for holding us up, for lifting us up, and for supporting us in our work. Bonjour tout le monde. This is an auspicious day for me in more ways than one. 63 years ago today, I scratched these words, October 15th, 1958, words and numbers, that is, on the wet white paint of the windowsill of the gray house the government, our foreign creators, had made for us. It is important to remember one Cree word, Kiskenatihuin, in the codes of many colors our creators made for us. Some of these creators were well-meaning, others not so much. Some had good intentions, others didn't. Some loved us, while others, you might say, hated us. This concealment, this house, is long gone. While we lived in it, in this concealment, we were out of sight, out of mind. We still call it the gray house because it was clad in gray stucco. But when we sound out the depths of the gray house now, it is color-coded in plain sight, in fogginess, drabness, camouflage, shadows, heaviness, and loss. Its only redeeming feature was the pale yellow kitchen walls. My grandfather, ever the Cree scientist, penciled the sun's journey on in Cree syllabics. In standardized hospital color codes in Canada, gray is the color code that stands in for infrastructure loss or failure. For us, hospitals are often an extension of our gray house that manifested system failure of a racist kind. Yellow is the color code for missing persons in hospitals. Was Joyce Echaquan a missing person because she was objectified, taken down because of her identity, and thrown away? She would have only cast a shadow in passing, if she hadn't documented the systemic racism she was being subjected to on her deathbed, on a Facebook Live video she posted that went viral. Interestingly, the Cree word "tigaste payuin" means to be captured in a photograph. How appropriate then that Joyce Echaquan was casting a shadow, Pime Tigaste Payu, on her deathbed. I remember one Easter morning, my grandfather called out, "Hasta mawasisak, come children, come here children," as he instructed us to look through the screen door he built for our gray house, through which we could witness the redemptive power of the sunrise and the Sundance. In our Sundance lodges, satin, broadcloth, and cotton in reds, greens, yellows, blues, whites, and calicos fly the refraction of light and the reflection of life. These Kiskinawatihuna, the codes of many colors our creators made for us, are shown in our Sundance ceremonies. These simple acts chasten our egos and defer to the human/nature that are really great and sacrificial, yet so fundamentally humble, confident, and adventurous at the same time. These Sundance flags are not unlike the standardized color codes in Canadian hospitals and the PPE that decorates and protects hospital staff inside and out. For my grandfather, even the bright yellow of the safe sun, because the sun was safe then, was jubilant because all our relatives had risen from the dread on all tipaskana, measured lots, or iskungana, leftover plots, commonly known as Indian reserves. Ancient calls still echo ethos like, how one is God, to me wake, arise, paint your face in the codes of many colors, animals, vegetables, and minerals made for us. Grease your face with these colors that animals, vegetables, and minerals made for us. They were our creators. They too are our creators. I was 7 years old when I had my first encounter with a nurse. I remember losing myself in her caring hands and gentle voice at the hospital I traveled to by horse and wagon for an emergency appendectomy. I was taken there because I was manifesting the same symptoms as my uncle who had just died from a ruptured appendix a year and a half prior. Even now, my first nurse looked so ethereal in the milky white she was wearing that exuded breathing space. Her white winged cap was adorned with a defining graphic and formal black velvet band. White is a mediator color. It exudes breathing space. In hospitals speak today, white color codes aggression and violent behavior. In its purest form, white contains all colors, while black is the absence of color. Colors can bring toxicity with them, like the white lead-laden color our menfolk painted the log house they had built for us with. I used to eat the clay chinking between the logs of our house, our log house, but I'd spit out the white paint because it was too bitter. We lived in a 2-room log house. When my cerebral cousin asked my jovial cousin, Louise, Harvey being my cerebral cousin, and he's still very cerebral today, and Louise is still very jovial today. Harvey asked Louise, didn't Madeline grow up in a 2-room log house? to which Louisa responded, "No, Gitesco ate one of the rooms, so she only grew up in a one-room house." She was making fun of my propensity to eat the mud, the clay chinking from between the logs. My grandfather, who was also deaf, asked me to tell him what I was learning in nursing school. I yelled into his ear that I had learned to give injections by giving a needle to an orange. As you know, oranges are fruit that are color-coded by carotene, a pigment in photosynthesis. Oranges are under siege too today, as our climate changes quickly and steadily. The color orange blends the ochre and sienna of nature that is used by some indigenous cultures in ceremonies where face painting happens. This is Kiskinawa in the codes of many colors our creators made for us. Notably, ochre is one of the oldest pigments used in prehistoric cave drawings. Orange blends red and yellow. Red is the oldest color. It warns of danger and high alert, while yellow is an uplifting color. In hospitals, orange spells disaster because it is highly visible and puts us on alert, much like the color red does. Orange and red are a part of our shock and awe. The old people used to call out, "Nega, nega," when they were in shock and when they were deeply troubled. Nega, nega means mother, mother. Orange Shirt Day was created by Phyllis's story. When she was 6 years old, Phyllis Webstad was sent to the mission school near Williams Lake, British Columbia. On her first day, her clothes, including a new orange shirt her grandmother had given her, was stripped from her person. On September 30th, 2021, the inaugural National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, informally known as Orange Shirt Day, became a Canadian statutory holiday to commemorate the disastrous and deadly legacy of the Canadian Indian residential school system. While the standardized color code in hospitals for adult cardiac arrest is blue, this cool, distancing, expansive, moody color code significant pressures, trauma, and stolen lives. Yet orange is also a warm, optimistic, and easygoing sea, like the Orange Shirt Day created on September 30th. It was clearly a day of reconciliation, or Pichimiuichituan, which means hither, to here, thence lie good, well, beautiful, valuable relationships. It was a glorious day for atoning for transgressions against other beings. Wansisuan, for conserving creation, consecrating Isichigewak, creators that come with clean water, medicine, and adornment, and honoring them with a rightful place on the face of the earth. Waskitaskamik. Red, a supreme color accent of strong emotion, is a celebratory color in some cultures. Emergency color hospital codes designate red as fire. Red is the color code that stands in for strong emotions. I cried me a river for the Omantewa, the revered travelers who had now ridden 25 miles of roadside ditch to my residential school. My father holds the reins in his hands, while my mother alights from the horse-drawn wagon. I fix my red-rimmed eyes on my mother's signature red tam, the color, the statement, the heartbeat, the moment. 2 hours later, my parents are gently loosening my desperate clutch as I beg them not to leave me. I cry until my nose bleeds. The parlor stands cold. The benches knock blandness. The windows paned and grave. Color fades, statements stop, hearts break and moments die. When red becomes the supreme actor from the ground up at the grassroots level. Soon enough, the mayor's bowels moved in a rather dramatic way. The mayor had drunk sapusigan, a herbal medicine that loosens the bowel, and was made and administered by a kind creator, Nimamasinan, the mother of all, who now called out, Nitsanis, my little daughter, run and fetch 2 ribbons. They need not be too long, gesturing from her fingertips to her mid-arm. Bring a blue ribbon, sipi gosenipan, and a red ribbon, mi gosenipan. Nimamasinan carefully tied these ribbons on the mayor's mane while expressing gratitude to Sichigewak, creators of all kinds. In time, the newly color-coded Kiskinawawa mayor stood up and shook loose from the clay, Papa Heu, that awaits and decorates all creatures in the end. After yielding life-saving engorged breasts to the foal, both walked together as one to fellow creatures while yielding life and defying death. The codes of many colors hospitals create promote consistent language, application, and approach to the management of critical incidents like racism. We need to develop codes of many colors that denominate in relational terms. In a designation for peace and harmony, and a distinction that is rooted in reconciliation, so they cannot be confused with conquest, power, and control. Thank you for symbolically painting my face with ochre and sienna, the earth colors. Thank you for symbolically robing me with a robe of power, Mama Tawakop. While this robe of power was bestowed to mark my position as an honorary fellow in the nursing academy, my major good intention to answer the call and to acknowledge my actual contribution to the community, I now have to do all I can to minimize the swirling nursing crisis we find ourselves in. To honor Manituegina, creators' cloths, whether they are made in wool, cotton, or broadcloth. For cloth wraps up medicine bundles, sacred pipes, and gifts of medicine like tobacco pouches. And it also wraps up our wounds in the hospitals and maybe even in home care settings. Creators' cloths are carefully measured and folded because in every transaction, they represent a covenant, a sacred trust, and a highly desired intercession and intervention. Nahawinigewan follows. Once we have that sacred cloth on our shoulders entrusted to us, Pagukanahan kanahuwe kanahuenama. It is our responsibility to carefully prepare, tidy, fold, and lay out our cloth. He's ginawachihuan, the codes of many colors our creators made for us are to wrap tightly around us, and they are to cocoon us and keep us safe from the vagaries of the cataclysmic failure we find ourselves in today. Kakio ginanaskum tinawaw. I am deeply grateful to you all. Namuyaywak ngagihitwan. I have said my piece. I have made my peace. Hi, ginanaskum tinawaw.
Kateskio, thank you very, very much for sharing your light, your experience, and your humble, important, and wise message. And thank you so much for the many years of contribution to the nursing profession and the leadership that you continue to share with us today. Thank you so much. I now will turn things to my CNA colleague, Aiden Hamza, who will induct the next round of fellows of the Academy.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you so much for your beautiful words, Dr. Dionstout. It is my honor to induct the next 10 fellows of the Academy for 2021. Bonnie Fleming Carroll. As Associate Chief of Nursing and Interprofessional Education at SickKids in Toronto and President of the Canadian Association of Pediatric Nurses, Bonnie Fleming Carroll's contributions have advanced pediatric nursing and children's health locally, nationally, and internationally. A champion of quality healthcare for children, Bonnie builds capacity by leveraging strengths and using innovative strategies to support knowledge translation, systems transformation, and sustainable change. She led the development of the first Canadian pediatric nursing standards, and she founded and leads a national network for pediatric nurses. She was a partner with CNA to develop the first pediatric nursing specialty certification exam in Canada. From local to global levels, Bonnie has felt privileged to have the opportunity to positively impact the quality of care for children, no matter where they live. Bonnie, welcome to the Academy. Alice Godin. Dr. Alice Godin is Professor and Dean of the Faculty of Nursing at Memorial University, where she contributes to nursing education and leadership through her research on nurses' work life and ethics. After working in a variety of nursing roles for 17 years, Alice joined Memorial University in 1997. Her work in nursing management in hospital settings led her to understand the impact of individual and organizational values on client care, guiding her research in nurses' ethical, conflict, and work outcomes. Alice has contributed to the development of nursing practice through supervising or co-supervising numerous Master of Nursing and PhD in nursing students. She has published over 35 manuscripts and co-authored an undergraduate textbook on nursing leadership and management in Canada. As Dean at Memorial University, she influenced the development and implementation of new and revised programs. Alice, welcome to the Academy. Lan Geen. For more than 40 years, Dr. Lan Geen taught in Canadian universities and conducted research including program evaluation and accreditation. Her research, funded by numerous national research agencies and foundations and provincial and federal governments, focuses on healthy aging and coping with chronic illnesses such as diabetes, HIV/AIDS, and cancer, with over 200 scientific publications and presentations. Lan held leadership positions in various professional, scholastic societies, and community voluntary organizations at the provincial, regional, national, and international levels. Her global work led interprofessional teams to strengthen nursing and social work education in Vietnam, promote primary healthcare, facilitated better access to healthcare and social services for the disadvantaged, reducing health inequality, and enhancing social justice. Her outstanding achievements were recognized with numerous honors, awards, and accolades in Canada and beyond. Lan, welcome to the Academy. Leila Gillis. As Deputy Chief Nursing Officer and Senior Director at Indigenous Services Canada, Leila Gillis works to meet Canada's commitment to support First Nations and Inuit to take full ownership and control of health services. Her career of leadership and partnership with Indigenous populations at the local, provincial, regional, and national levels has influenced healthcare delivery over 3 decades. A recipient of a Public Service Award of Excellence, Leila's career was built on a foundation of frontline practice in both Inuit and Nunangat and First Nation communities. And this experience has solidified her commitment to support system change. A proud Newfoundlander, Leila serves as a member of the National Principal Nursing Advisors Task Force and has joined international delegations representing Canada at numerous meetings of the International Council of Nurses and the World Health Organization. Leila, welcome to the Academy. Bloorview Gurm. Dr. Bloorview Gurm teaches across Faculty of Health programs at Kwantlen Polytechnique University in British Columbia, where she is best known for using her academic privilege to improve communities. She is an award-winning leader, professor of nursing, and consultant with more than 3 decades experience providing leadership on multiple community boards. She has worked in multiple roles at Vancouver hospitals, serves as a role model for colleagues, students, and community activists. Bloorview is frequently sought by media to comment on local issues and by organizations to discuss cultural safety, and she has served as founding editor-in-chief for Transformative Dialogues, Teaching and Learning Journal, founder and facilitator of the Network to Eliminate Violence, and is co-lead of a project to document the history of South Asians in Canada. Bloorview has been widely awarded for her teaching excellence, leadership, and community achievements. Bloorview, welcome to the Academy. Sapali Garugi, a professor in the Daphne Cockwell School of Nursing at Ryerson University, Dr. Sapali Garugi has dedicated her career to increasing the visibility of and highlighting the resilience of marginalized populations. Sapali is a leading authority on the complex intersections between health, immigration, and partner violence, and between health, immigration, and aging. Her work foregrounding resilience, agency, and the significance of compounded vulnerabilities in addressing the health and well-being of immigrant women and older adults has brought significant national and international attention to the critical health issues of immigrants and refugees. Developed in collaboration with clinical, community, and government stakeholders, Sapali's evidence-based interventions are improving the health of immigrants, their families, and communities. Her work has helped Canada develop meaningful policies and practices in the areas of mental health, gender-based violence, and aging in immigrant communities. Sapali, welcome to the Academy. Chris Gustafsson. Chris Gustafsson is the Corporate Director of Accreditation and Patient Experience at the British Columbia Provincial Health Services Authority, an adjunct faculty member at UBC, and among other certifications, she is a fellow of the International Society for Quality in Healthcare. Her career has spanned adult and pediatric clinical, research, academic, and leadership roles in quality, safety, accreditation, and patient experience. She is a surveyor for Accreditation Canada, a site reviewer for the BC College of Nurses and Midwives, and a leading practice reviewer for the Health Standards Organization. Chris has worked supporting quality and safety in healthcare nationally and internationally on 6 continents since 2004, and has served on the boards of the Registered Nurses Foundation of BC, the College of Pharmacists of BC, and Connect Place Children's Hospice, to name a few. Chris, welcome to the Academy. Fiona Hanley. Fiona Hanley teaches nursing at Dawson College in Montreal and is a course lecturer at the Ingram School of Nursing, McGill University. A longstanding advocate for nursing leadership in environmental and climate health, Fiona is a member of the CNA Environmental Reference Group and board member of the Canadian Association of Nurses for the Environment. She has contributed to policy development and outreach on environmental health initiatives and recently collaborated with the Quebec Order of Nurses on the formation of a climate committee and subsequent position paper on climate change and nursing practice. Fiona's expertise, knowledge, and activism on environmental health is demonstrated by her multiple public engagements at local, national, and international levels. She strives to amplify the role of nurses as crucial actors in upstream and downstream solutions to the planetary health crisis. Fiona, welcome to the Academy. Dave Holmes. Dr. Dave Holmes is professor at the and University Research Chair in Forensic Nursing in the School of Nursing, University of Ottawa, and a researcher at l'Institut National de Psychiatrie Légale Philippe Pinel in Montreal. His research seeks to understand power relations between nurses and patients in settings where both groups are objects of institutional power and how it impacts nursing practice. Dave has received ongoing funding from the Canadian Institutes of Health Research and the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada to conduct his research in forensic nursing and public health. In 2020, he was identified as one of the top 2% most cited researchers in the world by Stanford University. Over the course of his career, he has been appointed as visiting professor in Australia, Canada, Indonesia, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Dave, welcome to the Academy. Susan Jack. Dr. Susan Jack is a professor in the School of Nursing at McMaster University and founder of the Public Health Nursing Research Practice, Research and Education Program. An internationally recognized public health nursing science leader, her research focuses on how community-based approaches like nurse home visitation interventions can improve maternal child health outcomes, including the prevention of family violence. Her collaborations with provincial and international partners have influenced how nurses identify and respond to intimate partner violence in home visiting. As an active lecturer, mentor to graduate students, educator, and consultant, she provides training nationally and internationally on mixed and applied qualitative health research methodologies. Susan has served multiple leadership roles within Nursing Network on Violence Against Women International, including as president from 2016 to 2020. Susan, welcome to the Academy. Please join me in a huge round of applause for our newest fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. And now I will turn things to my CNA colleague, Marie Marquez, who will introduce our Employer Certification Awards.
Today, we are honoring 2 employers who have demonstrated exemplary support of nurses pursuing or maintaining national certification in a range of specialties. I am pleased to present the 2021 recipient of the Employer Recognition Award to the Aplin Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital. Aplin Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital is not only committed to providing exceptional service to children and youth with developmental disabilities, but also to supporting their families. Aplin Bloorview values the development of pediatric nursing expertise and works to enhance nursing professional development and career advancement by leveraging the nationally recognized CNA certification program. The hospital wholeheartedly supports CNA rehabilitation nursing certification and funds renewals for successful recipients. Aplin Bloorview strongly values CNA certification and its contributions to awareness of best practices to care for children and families in the healthcare system. It is now my pleasure to introduce you to Irene Andrus, Vice President, Programs and Services, and Chief Nursing Executive at the Aplin Bloorview.
Thank you so much, Marie. Dear colleagues and distinguished guests, thank you so much for this recognition and privilege. At Aplin Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital, we care for kids with disabilities, kids needing rehabilitation after illness or trauma, kids whose medical complexity requires the kind of care they can't get elsewhere. Every day, Holland Bloorview staff embrace kids with boundless potential and ask, how can we help you achieve these goals? With a mix of services not offered elsewhere in Ontario, we partner to provide the best interprofessional care within our walls and to prepare families for life beyond them. A world of possibilities and a world with no boundaries. Through teaching and research, we continue to challenge how the best care is defined and continue to share those new insights nationally and around the world. We understand that supporting pediatric nursing expertise not only supports our nurses' professional development and career advancement, but also raises our standards and helps us provide the safest, highest quality care possible. Achieving CNA certification sends a clear message to our clients and families and tells them that we are committed to those highest standards of professional nursing practice. We were privileged to support the development of the Canadian Pediatric Standards in collaboration with the Canadian Association of Pediatric Nurses back in 2018-19. Also supported the development of the pediatric nursing certification process. Holland Bloorview sponsored 11 pediatric rehabilitation nurses to successfully complete the first CNA certification exam, and we continue to support nurses each year. Why do we do this? Because CNA certification exemplifies clinical expertise and a deep understanding of client and family needs, contributing to the awareness of best practices to the care for children, youth, and families in our healthcare system. But I will take it one step further, and I know that Mike Villeneuve will agree with me. I was asked recently what I thought were the top 3 call to actions to support the future of nursing in Canada. 3 goals came to mind: a common voice for nursing, a clear focus on the health of our workforce, and then third, a focused investment in nursing leadership were my responses. When I reviewed the names of the nurses who had accomplished the CNA certification here at Holland Bloorview, it was so obvious that the great majority of these professionals had been successful in moving into formal leadership roles: nurse practitioners, hospital charge nurses, clinical resource leaders, just to name a few. This certification process ignites leadership potential and fuels the journey to leadership through a deep understanding of our core mission as nurses to care with confidence and knowledge. I will end with a quote from one of our CNA certified nurses recently promoted to a clinical resource nurse. Certification has helped me become more extensive in my clinical work at Holland Bloorview. I have worked in the inpatient unit as well as in the outpatient service. The CNA certification allowed me the time to explore children's health and development in depth. It allowed me to attend study groups as well as to have access to independent learning materials to truly have the expertise in pediatrics that supports myself, my colleagues, and the clients we serve. One particular example where I felt I benefited was when conducting a growth and development assessment with a child. The knowledge that I acquired allowed me to see where extra supports were needed to help the child meet their full potential. I was able to have a collaborative discussion with the interprofessional team, enhanced by my new extensive knowledge in pediatric health. I want to also recognize my colleague, Marilyn Ballantyne, as well, past Chief Nursing Executive at Holland Bloorview and previously recognized as a CNA Fellowship inductee. She too played a pivotal role in supporting this professional practice journey at Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Irene, and the team at Holland Bloorview Kids Rehabilitation Hospital for all your support of specialty nursing practice, Please join me in a round of applause for our 2021 Certification Employer Award winner. The 2021 honorable mention is awarded to Eisen Occupational Health. Eisen Occupational Health is an occupational health and disability management company that has been providing support to workplaces for the past 20 years. Eisen only employs registered nurses who are committed to health and safety and continuous learning to enhance their practice. Eisen's president has been certified in occupational health nursing for 20 years. Eisen has been an avid supporter of CNA certification and recognizes it as a preferred requirement on employment applications. Nurses, if not certified, are supported financially and professionally to pursue certification. Eisen promotes CNA certification as a unique way they stand out from their competitors, and their clients specifically ask for occupational health certified nurses. Thank you to everyone at Eisen Occupational Health for your dedication to supporting specialty certification. It is now my pleasure to introduce our president-elect, Dr. Sylvain Brousseau, to induct the next 9 fellows of the Academy.
Thank you so much, Mary, and congratulations to our amazing Employer Award winners. It is so great to see this support of certified nurses, and I thank both winners. Now I am honored to introduce the 9 newest fellows of the Academy. They are Beverly Tracy Jones. Since 2018, Beverly Tracy Jones has served as Director of Nursing at le Centre intégré universitaire de santé et des services sociaux de l'Ouest de l'île de Montréal, where she is best known for her involvement in initiatives aimed at improving patient care and promoting opportunities for professional growth within nursing. A 30-year nursing veteran, Beverly Tracy is currently a part-time faculty lecturer in the Ingram School of Nursing at McGill University and co-investigator in the strengths-based nursing and healthcare research project looking to strengthen nursing leadership across healthcare continuum. She is a lead fellow in the extra program Quality Improvement Initiative to improve primary clinical nurse practitioner, student placement, and advanced nurse practitioner education. After starting her career at St. Mary's Hospital in 1990, Beverly Tracy worked in various clinical environments, developing her expertise and building her credibility. Beverly Tracy, welcome to the Academy. Joan Kingston. Joan Kingston is a consultant in primary healthcare and community engagement, providing leadership in advocacy and in setting new directions for nursing education that offers the unique perspective of equity-oriented healthcare and cultural safety and humility. She shares her expertise in addressing the social determinants of health through community engagement, collaboration, and partnership building. Joan's career has included leadership roles in professional associations, government and community, and she has been a successful advocate for more comprehensive, integrated, and effective healthcare. Development of the Fredericton Downtown Community Health Center is a highlight among her achievements. Focus on the needs of vulnerable population, this teaching facility integrates interprofessional care delivery, nursing education, innovation, and applied research focused on community health needs using her harm reduction approach. Joan, welcome to the Academy. Christine Laliberté. Christine Laliberté est une infirmière praticienne spécialisée en soins de première ligne au Centre intégré de santé et des services sociaux de la capitale nationale et présidente de l'Association des infirmières praticiennes spécialisées du Québec. Elle travaille à favoriser la connaissance et la reconnaissance du rôle des infirmières praticiennes spécialisées afin qu'elles exercent pleinement leur champ d'exercice à la hauteur de leur niveau de formation. Elle cumule plus de 30 ans d'expérience en centre hospitalier, en soins de santé primaire, ainsi qu'à titre de chargée de cours, superviseur et coordonnatrice pour les stages des infirmières spécialisées en première ligne à l'Université Laval. En créant le modèle de la clinique Archimède, elle fait appel aux compétences interprofessionnelles pour répondre aux besoins de la clientèle et propose des solutions pour améliorer l'accessibilité et la continuité des soins et services par l'élargissement du rôle infirmier en première ligne. Christine, bienvenue à l'Académie. Mélanie Lavoie-Tremblay. As Vice Dean Research and Associate Professor at the Faculty of Nursing, Université de Montréal, and Adjunct Professor at the Ingram School of Nursing, McGill University, Dr. Mélanie Lavoie-Tremblay is deeply committed to the development, training, and retention of the next generation of nurse leaders. She serves as principal investigator in several studies and contributed to the implementation of interventions that have an impact on nurse retention and policy. Melanie's research focuses on ensuring a strong, sustainable nursing workforce, and her partnership with clinical partners facilitate the transition of graduate nurses into the workplace. Her exceptional leadership has been recognized by her peers locally, nationally, and internationally. As an invited expert, she continues to advise on initiatives to counter nursing shortage and recently to maximize nurse retention during the pandemic. Mélanie, bienvenue à l'Académie. Donna Martin. Dr. Donna Martin is a professor at the College of Nursing at the University of Manitoba, whose contributions to nursing have focused on advancing health equity, social justice, and anti-racism. Donna has evaluated innovative teaching strategies in nursing programs, and she partnered with colleagues on several arts-based initiatives to enhance university students' understandings of Canada's history with Indigenous peoples. A co-investigator on projects focused on promoting health equity and social justice in partnership with Indigenous people, she co-led the production of online videos documenting the art-wrenching experiences of a human-made flood, prolonged displacement, and resettlement. This study's findings led our team to advocate for collaborations between the provincial governments and First Nations people regarding water control, emergency evacuations, compensations, and resentment. As a result of her bodies of work, Donna has received awards for teaching, research, and administration. Donna, welcome to the Academy. Gail Tumbling Murphy. Dr. Gail Tumbling Murphy is a Vice President of Research, Innovation, and Discovery and Chief Nurse Executive at Nova Scotia Health, where she has been an active champion of innovation in healthcare, leading teams and partners to seek creative solutions and agile processes to deliver the best care for improved health outcomes. She is an internationally recognized expert in population needs-based approaches to health systems and workforce planning, evaluation, and research. Her contributions have advanced needs-based approach to health workforce planning and influence policy and practice worldwide. Gail is an expert advisor on the health workforce to the World Health Organization and Pan-American Health Organization and directs the Collaborating Center on Health Workforce Planning and Research at Dalhousie University. Her multidisciplinary teamwork with national and international partners focuses on research projects and capacity building initiatives. Gail, welcome to the Academy. Linda Obayan Palace. Dr. Linda Obayan Paulus is a professor emeritus at the Lawrence Bloomberg Faculty of Nursing at the University of Toronto, and during her 23 years at the university, Linda conducted 90 studies attracting approximately 90 million in research grants. Prior to retiring, she completed a second global study of nursing and midwifery, which was used by the World Health Organization and member states to develop policy. A fellow of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences, she received numerous awards, including CNA Jeanne Mance Award. She held 2 Ministry of Health Career Scientist Awards and a National Chair in Health Human Resources. Linda co-founded the Nursing Health Services Research Unit and its predecessor, the Quality of Nursing Work-Life Research Unit. She guided countless students to advance the research development and skills. Linda, welcome to the Academy. Bernadette Paul. Dr. Bernadette Paul is a professor in nursing at the University of Victoria, a scientist at the Canadian Institutes for Health Research, and the Island Health Scholar in Residence. Known for her contributions to applied public health research in the areas of substance use, homelessness, and promoting health equity in public health systems, Bernie's research collaborations, including people with live and living expertise, have helped to generate knowledge and improvements in housing and healthcare for people who use substances. Her work has informed nursing, national, provincial, and regional harm reduction policies. A leader in alcohol harm reduction, her research on managed alcohol has helped grow a body of evidence to inform programs nationally and internationally. Through collaboration with public health partners, her research is contributing to the application of a health equity lens in public health systems. Bernie, welcome to the Academy. Craig Phillips. Dr. Craig Phillips is Professor of Nursing and Vice Dean, Governance and Secretary at the Faculty of Health Sciences at the University of Ottawa. Craig's nursing and human rights legal training and experiences have guided his practices as a nurse, nurse educator, researcher, and administrator for more than 25 years. He strives toward human rights-based and decolonizing approaches to governance and community-integrated research and nursing practice approaches. His program of research, The Eco-Social Context of Health as a Human Right, has impacts that documented social factors influencing nursing practices and health outcomes with and among marginalized population, primarily persons living with HIV in Canada and globally. Craig co-directs the International Nursing Network for HIV Research and is an investigator in the Center for Research on Health and Nursing, a partnership between the University of Ottawa and Canadian Nurses Association. Craig, welcome to the Academy. Now, please join me in a huge round of applause for our newest fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. It is my pleasure now to turn it back to Tim.
Thank you, Sylvain. I have another great honor today as I get the opportunity to introduce you to our second honorary fellow. Professor Sheila Tlo will be well known to many of you as she has taken part in CNA events in the past. She has made Advanced Media's list of 100 most influential women in Africa. Sheila is the co-chair of the Global HIV Prevention Coalition and the co-chair of the Nursing Now Global Campaign. She was director of the UN AIDS Regional Support Team for Eastern and Southern Africa and is a former member of Parliament and Minister of Health of the Republic of Botswana. Sheila is also former professor of nursing at the University of Botswana and director of the World Health Organization Collaborating Center for Nursing and Midwifery Development in Primary Healthcare for Anglophone Africa. Sheila has conducted research and taught courses to nursing, pre-medical, and social science students on gender issues related to HIV/AIDS, sexual and reproductive health and rights, aging and older persons. She has played a key role in the development of national nursing and medical education curricula, working to broaden the scope of health sciences education in her home country of Botswana. During her term as Minister of Health and Chair of Southern African Development Community and of the African Union Ministers of Health, Sheila contributed to the improvement of global healthcare, especially for women and girls. She led a comprehensive HIV/AIDS prevention, treatment, care, and support program in Botswana, whose achievements saved countless lives. She has received numerous prestigious national and global awards and honorary degrees. And in her spare time, Sheila has portrayed Precious Ramotswe, the heroine of Alexander McCall Smith's The #1 Ladies Detective Agency book series in several amateur theater productions in Botswana. And she also starred in the Anthony Minghella BBC movie, The #1 Ladies Detective Agency. Before we hear from Sheila, I would like to share a few words from the International Council of Nurses President, Annette Kennedy, and Chief Executive Officer, Howard Catton. We were delighted to receive the news that Dr. Sheila Tlo is being inducted into the Canadian Academy of Nursing as one of the first 2 honorary fellows. Sheila is a force of nature, unstoppable, unforgettable, and unrivaled. She has been and continues to be an inspiration to nurses, not just on the continent of Africa, but worldwide, and for those working across the breadth and depth of our great profession. A nursing icon who has both walked with us, touched our hearts, and led us to where we need to go. We join the Canadian Nurses Association members and the fellows and members of the Canadian Academy of Nursing in offering our sincere congratulations to you, Sheila, as you receive this very special acknowledgement of your tremendous contributions to global health, healthcare, and nursing. Sheila, congratulations and welcome to the Academy.
Thank you very much, Tim, and my fellows. And greetings from South Africa. It's actually nighttime right now. It's almost to 8 o'clock. So let me say to you, good morning, but definitely good evening to me. I drove all the way from Botswana because I wanted to be right here where I can be able to speak nicely, converse with all of you, because I just feel like today is such a great day. And indeed, it is, to me, I feel humbled. It is a great pleasure. It is a great honor to really be with you on this very great day. And of course, I wish I was there. I love Canada. I wish I was there the same way I was with you in St. John a few years ago. But I want to relive those memories and just say, it was a great moment, and I'm really happy to be able to share this moment with you. So allow me first to just recognize a few people. Our elder, Aline Laflamme, who, our admirer, who was able to place us before God, before our ancestors, before Mother Earth, and really made sure that this day goes very well. I want to pay tribute to you. I want to also greet you, Tim Guest, the president of the Canadian Nurses Association, as well as the president-elect of the Canadian Nurses Association and the board that is coming on, and to say, no, I pledge my support. I'm hoping that I'll be able to work with you. I'm retired, but definitely not tired. I plan to go on forever and ever. So it will really be great to continue working with you. I want to recognize the honorees. Definitely to congratulate my fellow honorees, and to say that you and I are brothers and sisters. We are joined together in spirit, joined together at the hip. Forever, we will always be known as the Canadian Academy Class of 2021. And I think we'll carry that throughout. So let's ensure that we give that great name the dignity that it deserves. And last but not least, I want to congratulate my fellow honoree, Madeleine Ketescu Dionstadt, to say that I really admire you, and I feel that being with you is just one of those things that I will treasure forever. Indeed, you and I have been anointed by the same oils and clothed in the same cloth. We are sisters. So with that, I want to also mention a great organization that was mentioned, Pfizer. To say, Pfizer, you and I have a long history in case you are not aware. When I was Minister of Health, I remember there was Viagra, and I hated you for coming up with Viagra, because for me it was like, look, already we have HIV, and anybody who is not able to do anything, that's one less problem. So why come up with Viagra? And what made me even fight even more was when I had suggested that I need to give food, food rations to some of our people living with HIV. And I was told, like in cabinet, that, we cannot afford that. But a few months later, I was told that some people are suggesting that I make Viagra one of the list of essential drugs. And of course I refused. I mean, it was like, hell no, let sleeping dogs lie. So there's no way I'm going to do that. But now, Pfizer, we are great friends in the sense that I've just received my second dose of Pfizer. And for the first one, I did not even have any side effects. For the second one, I didn't have any. So I'm one of those strong 65-year-olds that you can always say, even older, older citizens take it and they don't experience anything. So Pfizer, we are there forever, and may more drugs come, to fight the COVID epidemic. So colleagues, it's really to say I am happy that we are here together. But to just reminisce and say that the COVID-19 pandemic devastated us all. And its after effects will be felt for a long time throughout the world. We lost our own. We lost our own nurses, midwives, and fellow health professionals as they were worked long hours to give that great help, that great assistance, that great care to their fellow human beings, sometimes without even personal protective equipment. And they were doing so with that psychological, fear of knowing that they could possibly get infected themselves, or worse, take the infection to their families. And indeed, the spotlight of the world did shine on nursing and midwifery. And even though we lost our own, we were able to show the world that we are a formidable force that can take care of humanity in all crisis settings and in all settings, be it at community level or indeed at hospital and intensive care level. So unfortunately, that came also at a time when I was co-chair of the Nursing Now campaign, together with Lord Nigel Crisp, that blue blood who has worked so well, who is not even a health professional, but we were together and we worked with the Nursing Now board, with ICN and with WHO to come up with the Nursing Now campaign and to carry it forth to most countries of the world, including Canada. It was a great campaign, despite the fact that we could not travel, especially because of the lockdowns and all that. But where we were able to support the groups of nurses as they were launching. We were able to do advocacy with our ministers, whether it was Minister of Health or Minister of Public Service. We were right there, ensuring that the voice of nurses and midwives is heard. And I mean, when we launched it, you know, the idea, when we launched the Nursing Now campaign, it was really to say we will not be able to achieve universal health coverage without raising the status and profile of nursing. And we urge countries to look at, you know, nursing education, recruitment, remuneration, retention, and everything. And to say we need nurses at leadership levels. My thing was, look, nurses, make sure that you are at the table, because otherwise you are on the menu. And indeed, a lot of nursing organizations did rise to the occasion, because in the ultimate, the campaign had to be by the nurses themselves. But guess what? They were joined by the other healthcare professionals who definitely knew, especially with, you know, the effects of the COVID pandemic, that nurses are at the forefront. And indeed, we saw ministers, we saw presidents being able to do a lot for nursing, but we still have a long way to go. But we all know that to achieve universal health coverage, we need nurses in leadership positions. So it is really about leadership that I want to share with you. But how did the nursing campaign go? It ended this year. But it ended this year, but we now have the Nursing Now Challenge. And I'll be able to tell you about it so that we can continue that leadership campaign for nurses and midwives. What it did was to bring nurses together under one common goal. For once, we felt the voice of nursing throughout the world, and we were together. And it was not just nurses, but as I said, other healthcare professionals, and in fact, other non-healthcare professionals. As I said, I was co-chair with Lord Nigel Crisp from the House of Lords. And for me, it was like, ooh, little me, you know, all the way from Africa. I'm working with this blue blood, and he was great. So we are continuing with the Nursing Now Challenge, but at least we're able to show that we can be together in really working with governments and convincing them that they need to achieve universal health coverage, and it will not be achieved without raising that status and profile of nursing and midwifery. We had evidence. I'm really grateful that I heard people talk about research and all that. Research is great. It produces evidence. It produces data for health decision making. We had evidence. What was that evidence? The State of the World Health of the World Nursing Report. That report was read throughout, and one of my great exhortations, having been a minister and a politician, was to say, look, when it reaches country, don't take it, you know, just like that and dump it on the Minister of Health or any one minister's table. Condense it into 3 to 4 pages. Say what recommendations are needed for your country and make sure that they are understood. Not the whole report, because politicians do not repeat, do not read. And sometimes if they read, you know, it goes in, but out somewhere. So at least in a lot of instances, the nurses were able to assure me that, no, we have condensed it, and we know that it will help. So, but we should really say it's not yet over. We still have a long way to go. Hence the Nursing Now Challenge. But we, you know, with Nursing Now, we knew that we could also achieve gender parity, gender equity throughout, at least that sustainable development goal of gender equity, and also health and sustainable development goal of ending poverty and hunger. But we still have a long way to go. Globally, women represent 70% of the health workforce, which is a great number. But they only 25% fit in senior positions, and only 5% are in the top leadership positions. So it means we still we have a lot of work to do. And it is interesting that we still have that, when it has been shown through some of us who are ministers that when she leads and she is a nurse, a lot of things happen. As he said, as Tim introduced me, I was able to show that we can work with communities, a la primary healthcare. We can work with communities and bring down the HIV infections. We brought down mother-to-child transmission of HIV from 29% to 8% within 4 years. And I was working with who? Nurses and advanced practice nurses. That's all. We didn't have a lot of doctors at the time. I had to start the medical school later, but for then I had to work with what I did, what I had, and these had been the very people who were holding primary health care for the country. And I had every confidence that we will do it, and they are still there doing it. So let me, in trying to conclude, I don't want to keep us, we want to really enjoy ourselves, but to say that, in my conclusion, I want to just share 3 thoughts with you. The first one being that health is a political choice. We need to therefore ensure that our politicians, our political leaders have that data for policy making, that data for political decision making. Most important, we need to be there ourselves. So for any of you, let me say, for any of you who are actually aspiring to be politicians, I want to say, go ahead. The ground is open and you can do a lot. When I became the first nurse to be Minister of Health. And it was interesting that after me, we've had about 3 nurses who are ministers of health in the African continent. So slowly but surely, we are getting there. And we will not stop until, guess what we have? The first president to be a nurse. It will really be great. So let's go on and do that data for health equity and for great decision making. The second thought I want to share is that health starts at family and community level. Hospitals are for repairs. So in everything that we do, whether you are in the clinic or in the hospital, just know that we still need that touch at community level, because in the ultimate, we cannot do anything without community engagement. This is still the primary health care that was launched in 1978, 43 years ago. Is still relevant because guess what? Is the one policy I like, because it talks about neglected populations, key populations. It talks about indigenous populations. And indeed, key populations such as men who have sex with men, sex workers, drug users, those are some of the population that right now in our nursing curricula, people are still so jittery about even including that. So let's ensure that we do that primary health care and make sure that no one is left behind. And the last thing that I really want to share with you is to really look at where we are and to say, for sustainability, let us ensure that we mentor our young nurses and midwives. When I grew up, there was the belief that nurse leaders devour their young. They eat them alive. Okay, I think that generation has died off. Now, what is left is your generation. You are the great people, fellow honorees. the very ones who can now be able to get the nursing now challenge and ensure that we put more and more, we invest in our young nurses and midwives and train and educate those leaders of today, those leaders of tomorrow, the very ones who will carry forth our quest for universal health coverage and for global health equity. So with those remarks, let me simply say that for me, it has been great. And I really hope that we will be together. And it is a great honor for me to be sharing this particular honor with you. I thank you very much for everything. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheila, for your message, your leadership, your global impact, your sense of humor. And I wanted to say that we established this academy as one of our commitments under the Nursing Now Canada campaign. And we are so delighted to have you with us as a fellow. We know you will be an amazing global ambassador for CNA and the Academy. And everyone at the event today, please join me in a round of applause for Sheila. Well, this brings us to our final group of inductees in the class of 2021. And I'm happy to have the opportunity to introduce the final 10 to you all today. Dr. Shai Rose Primji. Dr. Shai Rose Primji is a professor and director of the School of Nursing, Faculty of Health at York University, known for her contributions to global maternal and newborn care. Shai Rose has created opportunities for nursing students and professionals to understand global maternal and child health issues, work effectively with patients from diverse ethnic backgrounds at home in Canada, and build research capacity to promote evidence-informed practices and policies. Her program of research examines perinatal women's mental health and biological pathways to preterm birth and implementation science research to promote women and infants' mental health. She leads the Maternal Infant Global Health Team and holds $8 million in funding for projects on 3 continents. Shai Rose founded the Canadian Association of Neonatal Nurses and served on the Council of International Neonatal Nurses to advance the specialty of neonatal nursing globally and locally. Shai Rose, welcome to the Academy. Sherry Price. Dr. Sherry Price has made significant contributions to enhancing professional socialization and education within nursing and the health professions as a researcher and educator. Sherry's nationally funded program of research centers on enhancing career choice, professional socialization, and interprofessional collaboration. Her research on millennial nursing students' career choice experiences provides a unique contribution to our understanding of professional socialization within nursing and has informed the design of several initiatives to enhance recruitment, new graduate transition, and retention. Sherry has built international research partnerships to advance interprofessional socialization and collaboration, and she employs a variety of novel knowledge translation methods, including video, vignettes, and social media. Her research has advanced our understanding of how early influences on professional identity formation can impact not only recruitment, but also career satisfaction and retention across the health professions. Sherry, welcome to the Academy. Annette Elliott Rose. For more than 20 years, Dr. Annette Elliott Rose's diverse career has focused on understanding the needs of women, children, and families to inform and create equitable systems and services. Annette is Vice President, Clinical Care and Chief Nurse Executive at the IWK Health Center, a leading academic health sciences organization supporting the care of women, children, youth, and families in the Maritimes. She is a scholar with the World Health Organization Collaborating Center on Health Workforce Planning and Research, and participates on local, national, and international research teams. Her early practice in perinatal care in Northern Canada primed her for provincial work in clinical guidelines, quality review, and health professional education, as well as leadership positions with the federal government. These varied experiences support her commitment to inclusive, quality care informed by partner research and first voices to transform health systems. Annette, welcome to the Academy. Josette Roussel. Josette Roussel's career has been driven by a vision to lead and support publicly funded healthcare, advance nursing practice, and the development of new evidence to strengthen nursing. Over more than a decade while working at CNA, Josette honed her expertise in the development of health policies and advancement of the nursing profession in Canada and globally. She has developed and fostered strategic alliances and collaborations to successfully position nursing in national research grants, federal policies, and legislative committees to enable better care, better value, and optimize the nursing role within Canadian healthcare. Josette is an executive member of the core steering committee of the International Council of Nurses Nurse Practitioner Advanced Practice Nurse Network, and will serve as deputy chair. Josette, our dear colleague, we miss you, and let me say, bienvenue à l'Académie. Bukola Oladuni Salami. Dr. Bukola Oladuni Salami is a full professor at the Faculty of Nursing at the University of Alberta, founder of the African Child and Youth Migration Network of more than 30 researchers across the globe, and founder of the Black Youth Mentorship Program at the University of Alberta. Well known for her research on immigrant mental health, Black people's health, nurse migration, and well-being of temporary foreign workers, her research on Black youth mental health in Alberta led to the creation of a mental health clinic for Black Canadians in Edmonton. She has provided consultations to policymakers at provincial, national, and international levels, including the Prime Minister of Canada. She has received several research awards, including the Sigma Theta Tau International Nurse Researcher Hall of Fame Award, and is one of 2 recipients of the Killam Accelerator Research Award. Bukola, welcome to the Academy. Roger Scott. Colonel Roger Scott's career began in the Air Force maintaining jets, then to being a paramedic, emergency nurse, and now nurse practitioner. Dr. Scott is a respected clinician and leader in the Canadian Armed Forces and civilian nursing community. One of the first nurse practitioners in the Alberta Health Services Corrections Health Division, Roger was the first nurse practitioner in the Alberta Health Services Emergency Medical Services Community Care Program, where he helped establish a nurse practitioner paramedic model. He has taught paramedics and undergraduate and graduate nurses, and was an early director of the Alberta Association of Nurse Practitioners. His research focuses his research focus is health disparities in sexual minority people. In recognition of his service, Roger is an officer of the Order of Military Merit and a commander of the most venerable Order of St. John of Jerusalem. Roger, welcome to the Academy. Erna Snellgrove Clark. Dr. Erna Snellgrove Clark is the Vice Dean of Health Sciences and Director of the School of Nursing at Queen's University. A unique nurse leader who functions as a hybrid, she combines active clinical practice and student and staff education, and she is a recognized and dynamic clinician researcher and a leader with an ambitious portfolio. Her overarching research agenda is the translation of the best evidence into maternal newborn care, probably The greatest testament to Erna's leadership is her National Embedded Clinician Scientist Award. Change is well known, can be an uphill battle, but Erna is relentless in her objectives regardless of how long changing practice can take. Erna is the recipient of numerous awards, including the Canadian Association of Perinatal and Women's Health Nurses Excellence and Leadership Award and the Canadian Association of Schools of Nursing Preceptor and Mentorship Award. Erna, welcome to the Academy. Janet Elaine Squires. Dr. Janet Squires is a professor in the University of Ottawa's School of Nursing, where she holds a research chair in health evidence implementation. She is also a senior at the Ottawa Hospital Research Institute, and through these roles, Janet has become regarded as an internationally renowned researcher who has advanced the field of implementation science through her substantive, conceptual, and methodological contributions. To improve healthcare quality, patient outcomes, and the sustainability of healthcare systems, her research program strives to increase healthcare professionals' use of research evidence in clinical practice. Janet collaborates with researchers, clinicians, and policymakers internationally to create resources for integrating research evidence into clinical practice and policy. And she leads national and international initiatives examining the role of context in implementation, characterizing evidence practice gaps, and developing interventions to change healthcare professionals' behaviors. Janet, welcome to the Academy. Rani Shrivastava. Dr. Rani Shrivastava is Dean of Nursing at Thompson Rivers University in Kamloops, British Columbia, and is widely recognized for her leadership in diversity, equity, and cultural competence education, bringing academia and practice environments, bridging academia and practice environments and creating practice-based research roles. Her career has included senior leadership positions in professional practice and quality improvement. Rani is the author of the Healthcare Professional's Guide to Clinical Cultural Competence and has written several book chapters and articles on topics of cultural identity, religion, ethics, and family-centered care. In 2017, Rani was included in the 150 nurses recognized by CNA as strong public advocates and leaders in advancing a patient-centered approach to quality healthcare. Her leadership impact extends across education and practice. Her work is driven by a deep commitment for co-creating inclusive, respectful places through meaningful connections. Rani, welcome to the Academy. Karima Velji. With her education, including nurse practitioner certification, Dr. Karima Velji has devoted her life to the profession of nursing in all its domains. Driven by a singular desire to make a difference to the lives of people around the world and to uplift the most marginalized in society. Karima has held C-suite senior roles in several organizations and has led system-level projects and external reviews. She has served as president and chair of the board of directors of the Canadian Nurses Association, vice chair of the board of directors of Accreditation Canada, United Way campaign chair for London Middlesex, and co-chair of Health Canada's Violence Evidence Guidance Action Program. Karima is cross-appointed to several universities, has won many outstanding achievement awards, and is a consultant to global sites for the development of policy, credentialing, and academic plans. Karima, my dear friend and our former president, welcome to the Academy. May I now ask you all to now please join me to welcome these 10 fellows and all of the fellows and award winners here today. We would love to be in a big room to hear all of the cheers, the energy, but let's hope that we can do that in 2022. To everyone here with us today, we are all really honored to present to you the 38 highly accomplished nurses and our 2 amazing honorary inductees who are now officially the second class of fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. And congratulations to the Certification Program Employer Award winners. Well done, all of you. And so our time today is coming to an end. On behalf of everyone at CNA, I want to thank you all for attending today's ceremony. It is another historic day for Canadian nursing. Congratulations to all our fellows and the Charter Fellows of the Canadian Academy of Nursing. I look forward to working with you to advance nursing leadership in Canada. I know CNA will be turning regularly to you and to all of our Academy members for advice and expertise in developing our nursing and public policy positions. I will now ask Sylvain to offer a few closing remarks en français.
Merci d'avoir participé à notre cérémonie. C'est un moment qui marque notre profession et le leadership infirmier partout au Canada. Je suis tout particulièrement touché par vous tous qui travaillez à l'avancement de notre profession et du système de santé au Canada. Toutes nos félicitations pour la promotion 2021 et les fellows de l'Académie canadienne des sciences infirmières. Nous sommes très fiers de ce groupe de leaders infirmiers et avons hâte de travailler avec vous pour continuer de développer la profession et les politiques publiques. Bonne fin de semaine à vous tous.
Merci, Sylvain. And now, to close our time together in a good way, I would like to invite Elder Aline Laflamme to bless us all, bless this shared space, and send us on our way. Elder Laflamme.
Okay, my dear relatives, am I there?
We can hear you, Aline, but we can't see your camera. Can
Yeah.
you click it? There we go.
Okay. I think that we should just take a short moment here because I am overwhelmed with the richness of the gifts of all of you. And I would just like to take a little moment before we pray to each one just rest in all you have accomplished and all the dear ones here have accomplished. It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. Because we're going to get very busy as soon as we get off this Zoom call, start racing around doing more amazing things. So take a little moment now, and I hope during the course of today or over the next few days, you will take time to sit very quietly and luxuriate in your own accomplishments and in the accomplishments of all the other dear ones in this academy. I'm so humbled and touched. What great work you've done. I know I love nurses and honor nurses, but when I listen to all that you have achieved and accomplished. My respect for you deepens greatly. And I want to thank my beautiful Sundance sister, Madeline, for your amazing words and teachings, and each one that spoke and shared, and all of you that were spoken about. What a blessed day this is. Okay, we'll thank the one that gave us the gift of life. Grandmothers and grandfathers, Great Spirit, great mystery of life, good creator of all things in this universe, however we call you, we give thanks to you because we're here. Thank you for placing us in this circle with these amazing human beings who have done so much to lift up creation. Such honorable work, such good hearts, such good minds, such beautiful spirits, such strong skin and bones to accomplish what they've accomplished. I ask you, good creator, put a blessing on each one here, and all the nurses, all the healthcare workers, all the healers all over this Mother Earth doing this fine and good work. We pray to walk as best we can with love in our hearts. Help us to walk with honor, like these honorable beings we're amongst now. Help us to walk with respect in all that we do. And we pray, good creator, to have compassion for all things in creation, including our own selves. Thank you for the great gift of this ceremony. Thank you for the great gift of these amazing human beings walking amongst us. Masi Cho, all my relations, Masi. Thank you for this beautiful ceremony, Masi Cho.